You know, I'm not here to advocate for Hamas, but I will say that you know, it's not just a known fact like somebody saying it. There's like plenty of footage of patients in hospitals that were not evacuated that got bombed, and to me, there's nothing funny about it. You know, I mean, it might be a hilarious thing to you.
This is Hamas. They are planting their civilians, preventing them from evacuating, turning down, rejecting human rights ceasefire. We're bombing them because they're placing themselves among the people for this reason, to create a humanitarian debate that is off base, that is wrong, that has no founding principles. I promise you.
It doesn't make it okay.
What doesn't make what okay? That they're storing rockets.
Bombing a hospital is not okay.
It's to ignite this debate. It's for no reason. It's for no reason other than more unrest, more violence, more anger, more destruction.
There have been some very politically unwise folks in the Israeli government that have decided that we're going to bomb a hospital.
If your house was bombed every single day and the source of that rocket was a hospital owned by the UN or a school owned by the UN, how would you respond? Tell me.
All right,
Tell me how you would respond besides dropping leaflets, besides warning strikes, besides telling them please get out, phone calls, text messages. They do above and beyond.
I think as an objective person, I'm able to look at two sides and say one side has 800 civilians dead, one side has zero.
Israel protects its civilians through advanced measures, through bomb shelters, an Iron Dome system that is brilliant, unbelievable. Israel protects its civilians. There are measures in place. Hamas does not want to protect its civilians.
Why is Israel bombing civilians?
Because Hamas is among their civilians, and Hamas hides behind them and puts their rockets in these bedrooms. The one room's a bedroom with a baby being nursed. The next room's a rocket launching station.
I hope that you would listen to yourself. That not one Israeli civilian has died in this conflict yet.
But it's not about how many are on one side or the other. It's about 32 soldiers have died, 3 civilians have died. It's not about
soldiers.
Why would they not invade? How could they resist? How could they?
They're not legitimately at risk.
That's outrageous. But to subject someone to live under rocket fire, is that acceptable? To go to bomb shelters 15 times a day?
Exactly what's happening in Gaza.
It wouldn't have happened if Hamas said, we don't want to fight you. We want peace with you. The siege, you know they say, end the siege of Gaza.
Sorry, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
when I went across the street, I asked them, I said, what does Free Palestine mean? And they really couldn't give a good answer. But when I said, when you hear this side yelling Free Palestine from Hamas, do you agree with that? And they said, Hamas is the good guys.
I mean,
how do you respond
How
to
I
that?
say to that is those are our peace partners. If anyone's asking us, why aren't we making peace with them? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing enough? Because these are our peace partners. They want us dead. The other day, a tunnel was found leading to a kibbutz dining hall. Tell me that's a battlefield. Tell me a dining hall where 1,000 children sit with their moms and their brothers and their sisters. Tell me that's a battlefield. That is off base, and Israel has no other choice other than to destroy these tunnels, go into Gaza, lose precious, brave soldiers to this because these people seek terror and death and destruction, and that's all they seek. They will not stop. It's in their charter. They will not stop till every Jew is dead in the state of Israel. West Bank and Gaza, we give them all of that. It won't be nearly enough. I promise you. A few years, we'll just close the gap more, isolate us more, stretch us, make us more uncomfortable. I'm telling you, this is their goal. Their goal is this debate to talk about all their dead civilians that they aren't shedding one tear about. I do hurt for the mothers. So does every Israeli supporter. We hurt for the mothers and the brothers.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
The life of an Israeli versus a life from a Palestinian,
It's the same.
are they the same or is there a difference?
There's no difference at all. It's unfortunate. It truly is unfortunate, but I wouldn't put my kids next to a rocket launcher, and neither would you. There's places to evacuate. There are places to go. I promise you, they say Gaza is way too crowded for anyone to evacuate to any safe haven. Israel gives warning strikes. They say, please move to 2 buildings over. You will be safe. They are precise in their attacks, but Hamas says, run to the buildings, protect it, stay there until Allah tells you to leave. It's for a cause. The cause is legitimate. The cause to free Palestinians, to have a two-state solution. I understand. I respect it. I really do. But what I don't respect is the means in which they go about achieving that. And that it's outrageous. It's off base. It's not allowed.
So if we go back to the history in the beginning, to make the record straight and just make whatever is wrong and right. Let's try to figure that one out. So was it right that Israel was created in the first place?
Yes.
Just like that?
British mandate, and the United Nations voted for a partition plan. 2 states were offered. Guess what happened on the Palestinian side? Do you know what happened? They rejected it and waged war from 6 different countries, from Jordan, from Egypt, from Syria, from Lebanon. Well, how else are we supposed to say it? You can say it's illegitimate that we got it in the first place. I'm sorry, the most recognized body that's accusing Israel of war crimes now was the one that gave it to us. They gave it to us almost unanimously. 3 countries said no, okay? And I don't know, maybe more said no, but we were given it universally, it was ours. And then to add on top of it, we fought a war against 6 countries to keep it. We fought a war against 6 countries to keep it. They've continued to suicide bomb. You say a siege in Gaza. There's a siege in Gaza because we cannot allow these people in without checkpoints. We can't. How do we trust them when they're blowing up our cafes, our schools, our cities? How can we trust these people? There are legitimate people on the other side who I would love to speak to for peace, to make strides. But Hamas is not your leadership. They are not representing you. They are not representing a peaceful cause. And I wish everyone knew that on that side.
But what I don't understand really is how Israel can grow its borders since it was declared as a state.
What is Gaza?
I mean, if you look at the history, how the map looked like in the beginning, I mean the borders, and you compare it to today, then you will see it's like the...
Who did Israel take the West Bank from in 1967? The Palestinians or the Jordanians when they attacked them in the 6-Day War? The Jordanians. Israel has no interest in dividing and conquering. Israel has interest in keeping its precious land with no resources, no natural resources, but we have brilliant people who are innovators, who are amazing, who are contributing to an amazing country that has revolutionized the world in more ways than you can begin to imagine. And they have no interest in expanding their borders. In 2005, a withdrawal of 29,000 Jews were yanked out of their homes of Gaza in hopes for peace. Israel in 2012 gave them 2,000 tons of concrete to build buildings. And what was built instead? Concrete tunnels. I mean, it's outrageous. It's very clear. The truth is very clear. I'm here to stand up for moral decency. I hurt for every Palestinian life that is being taken. But I truly, the underlying conflict is their leadership is misrepresenting them. And that's all I have to say. Israel is a government that seeks peace. Trust me, my friends are fighting right now in the IDF, and they don't want to fight. They don't want to be on the war. They don't want to be in Gaza. But they have to be because their kibbutzim, their moshavim, their cities, their schools, they're being threatened by terrorists. Israel would not bomb Gaza once if Hamas was not firing 12,000 rockets a week. I promise you. I 100% promise you.
Can I ask you a last question?
Yes.
How come, I mean, is Israel the state, is it a secular state or a religious state?
Prime Minister of Israel is secular. Most Israeli state is secular, but it's based on Jewish ideals. It was given to us as a Jewish state. But let me tell you, Arabs in Israel are the most free Arabs in the entire Middle East. I promise you. An Arab can say, I don't know if I agree with Islam today, and they will not be hanged. They will not be in trouble in Israel.